Not only him, also from him. Okay.
When the teacher has the class and the class behavior, the class is good.
Just show me the breed for the house.
Oh, wow.
86 years old. What?
Then I'm making a Wi-Fi, I'm making a voice face now.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Eliyahu. Eliyahu ben Zvihir.
That's an end of the day.
Eliyahu ben Zvihir.
That's not nice. Unbelievable.
Go put somebody in there, puts on stage.
Okay, fine. So let's start right away. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'achnu midvarei.
Remain. Beautiful video, then go. Yeah. You did it on the roof of your house?
I don't have a house.
On the roof of the building?
Yeah.
It's very nice.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
You watched the whole thing?
Yeah, Ari, say Omen. First say Omen.
Why?
And he said it's the roof of your house.
I don't.
I was
I
saying
don't recommend going on the roof of houses.
you're gonna jump after you speak. You make it crazy, the conversation, but it's okay.
No.
David, thank you for joining us. Here's for you.
The scene was nice, huh? Everybody says unbelievable.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Nefesh kisechto mol mal b'Hashem v'chichesh v'amisa v'fikoden oibis sumasiyot oy v'gozel oy oshek esamisa. So what does a person do? So now, and the Torah adds, oy motz aveda v'chichesh bo v'nishba al shoker lachas mekol asher asodam lachtu meim. Any of these sins, Parshas Vayikra has a list of sins, and then the kapora. Right? A list of chatoim, and what's the kapora for these chatoim? So what should you do? So then the pasuk says, the first thing is azoi. He has to give back the gzeila. First he has to give back the gzeila. And also v'chamisha Yosef Allah. Asher lo yitnenu b'mashmaset. Hashom yovel Hashem ayal tamim min atzayim be'ekach al Hashem el hakoyin chiper al vakem nifnei Hashem v'nislach lo alachas mikol asher yasel Hashem apam. Zogt Rashi nefesh geseta Omar Rabbi Akiva ma tamud lo yimer mo'olam al b'Hashem. What's the mo'olam al b'Hashem? Usually we think Ma'ala Mal Bashem. There was Moral Behektish, which is Tak, a few psukim earlier, is talking about Mila Behektish. What's a Ma'ala Mal Bashem? Vi shekol Mal ve'haloi ve'hanoise ve'hanoise einoise ela be'edem u'bishtar. Every person that does a milva, it's bishtar. Person unfortunately doesn't. It's terrible. But usually business is done bishtar. And there's Eidim. Lafikach b'zman shu mechachesh be'edim uvishtar. V'la mafkid eitzal chavei ein nidoitze shetei debei neshama.
So there's a whole Gemara about the star without the Edom without the star. What's more important? Which
right? It's the chesima. Was a very there's not ein nidoitze. I'm sorry, I missed out the vov, which is the main thing. Ve'ein nidoitze.
You're doing the daf?
no, last year.
He did Bava Metzia last year.
Today the daf talking about
The same idea?
You find a star, who you give it to.
This is Bava Metzia. Oh, you're in Bava Metzia?
Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense.
Fine, daf just read. So right there, this right there.
Funny.
You half daf or you whole daf?
So
Looks like a whole kind of guy.
if a person gives up a code to his friend. I'm sorry, I missed it. Ve'ein nidoitze shetei debei neshama. V'shlishi shebenein.
Real ve'ein.
Ve'ein nidoitze. He doesn't want anyone to know about it. It's a secret. Comes to his friend, he gives him a pikod. It's the last line in Rashi.
No, who is the third person?
The Eibishter. Vayikra machachesh b'shlishi shebeneim. That when a person gives someone to hold something for him and no one knows, who's he relying on? He's relying on the what's Pshat? He's relying on the
person's
right. He is a religious Jew. He believes in God.
Right.
He knows that God sees everything, so I could trust him because he'll give it back to me because he knows that God knows. And therefore I trust him, and I'm going to give him the pikadon of the Rebbeinu Shalom vase. So
I would say it differently. You're relying on his decency as a person. And what's the decency of a person that they're made in Tzalma like him? Where do they get that menschlichkeit from?
but actually, that's not what Rashi's saying. Rashi's saying
Same idea, no?
Similar. Maybe the same.
but Rashi's saying Aval Mafke is gewene eine Deutsch steht der Rebbeinu
What's
Shalom.
the difference between Shumas Yod and Gozel? The
The
cotton is without a strap, yeah?
pikadon is he gives him a bag of diamonds to hold.
Without a strap.
Sumas Yad is he gives him, Rashi says, either a milva or a business. They're partners in business. He gives him
They're the opposites of each other. One is I'm giving you something
Right.
for me. The other one is we're doing
business. Yeah.
Just
On
That's
the
very
good
good.
business, you riding the shop.
Right.
No matter what.
What
It's in your house,
What
it's in your car.
goes like Oshik is let me see one of those two then.
Pikadon is he gives you a bag of diamonds to hold. Sumas Yad,
So
he gives
could
you
borrow his car or
right.
something.
Or Sumas Yad means that he gives you something to sell, and when you're partners. Gozel means you steal it. Oshek is like you owe money and
You don't pay on time.
yeah.
All this
Matzavedas.
is about on a star, all these cases.
Rashi says that kichish ba'misir pikadon is no star, but Sumas Yad is with a star.
Sometimes.
Yeah. And the other ones goes
Let's read Rashi again. Rashi. Omar Rebbe Akiva, Matam, Elohim, Amal, Amal, Hashem, Lefi Shekol, Amal, V'Aloi, V'Vanois, V'Vanois, Einos, El Be'ed, B'Shtar. Lefi Kechman, Shemachachash, Machachash, Be'ed, B'Shtar. Mapkes, Chaveda, Ein Erotz, Shtele, Van Hashem, Al Shlish, Shemenei, Fikr, Shemachachash, Machachash.
only case.
Mizrachi says, what does it mean, Ein Erotz, Shtele, Van Hashem, Al Shlish, Shemenei? The Fikr, Shemachachash, Machachash, B'Shlish, Shemenei, Ashlishu, Aboid, Izborech. Im loike mashe eine Reutze steht der Neshama la Shlisha dekam Neshama Mashach Chachash because Makachash b'Shlisha Aboid is Barach. He's denying the Eibishter. The Mizrach is explaining exactly what Rashi has in mind.
What's
Like-
the word of mal b'Hashem? What you want to say?
What is it? The Mila is in the Eibishter. Mal b'Hashem v'kichash v'bikod mashkos of Acharav. Oy b'tzumas yod, oy b'gozel. So that hake Avakichesh b'Amisei l'chudei koi v'lo yamal b'Hashem. So, l'choida, when a person steals or he's dishonest in business, so there was not a mal b'Hashem. He said mal b'Hashem means that I went quietly and I said I don't trust anyone in the world. I have a bag of diamonds and I'm giving it to you, like Lavan said to Yaakov, Eini shimonu rei elikim eid beini u'beinecha. I have a bag of diamonds and I only trust you. I'm giving it to you. So the Mizrachi says, but what's the other things in the pasuk? It says you have to split the pasuk. That it says in beginning with Pikadon, that's a mal b'Hashem. The kichlish b'mitzvah Pikadon. The other things is not mal b'Hashem. It's very doichik pshat because it's one pasuk. It's mashman that the pasuk is talking about everything. But the Gurari says
Why take a picod and you don't want nobody to know?
he doesn't want anyone to know what he has.
What he has. Right.
He doesn't want people to know
But
that he has a bag of diamonds.
You take a big chance by giving it to
Yes.
the guy. He might says, I don't know you, and then you have given to me. Like it's between you and him.
That's what happens to business people sometimes. You trust someone that you believe is
The whole
a
business is just
person.
about trust. Every business is about trust.
Exactly.
Unless you look at documented.
Even with document.
Even with
documents.
Guraria,
I could share some story.
that's why we're learning this Rashi now. That Guraria says, "Ve'ina roitza, Pirush HaKadosh Baruch Hu Ashlishi Shebeineim, the v'shesoymach al zeh, lefi ki kivin HaKadosh Baruch Hu yodem zeh, lo yichper v'im ukoyfer HaKadosh Baruch Hu shenam achalav. לאו דווקא בקודן, אף גזל, אף שהוא לא ישם מתחיל לו, מקום כיוון שאין יודע מזה, כי הקדוש ברוך הוא בסוף שלו יכפר בדובר, שקדוש ברוך הוא יודע מזה, Wenn mir für der Käufer bei ist Barich.
Usually Gesel's Bapumbi, it's Gneva that's Bitzina.
Yeah,
So the lesson doesn't stem exactly with the word Gesel.
yeah,
Gesel
Quite
means head on,
Right.
like five to cone.
right.
Just hard.
Right. So the Taka a bisschen schwer in the Maral.
I got an also service to help me.
Exactly.
It's Bapumbi, it's
Right.
like it's gunpoint.
Right. Exactly.
Not going
But
by
at the same time, he service to help me.
Smart enough.
Yeah.
Flick.
It's a good Akasha. That's what we're going to do with this. Nefesh gesechtes sagt Ben Ish Chai, mal und mal Bashem, v'kich shom misa, kodem betzumas yad, begez la'osh, ksamish amotza, aveda, v'knish ba'al shoke. Rashi is zechreinu levrocha pirish, tzumas yad, shesam biyoda, he put into his hand, momel, sasek b'milva, hina lachayre, yishleme, lamai ayre palginu kro, why did the Pasuk say, b'pikodem betzumas yad, what's the difference? Lachayre, Inyan Echadu, the Mali bo liyodo mos ela bateris pikoden, umali bo liyodo bateris alvoy bishvil masa matan. Someone Reuben gave Shimon money, and now Shimon is lying about it. What's the difference how Shimon has Reuben's money if it was through a pikoden or through a business transaction? Bishlam gazel ve'oshek. Gazel means he's holding in his hand. I grab it away. Oshek means I have to pay him, right? And I didn't pay him his rent. I didn't pay him his salary,
Isn't Isaac to also cheating?
right? So he's saying Gezel means it's the money's in his hand, grabbed it. Oishik means his money's in my hand, I'm not giving it to him. Versteht's? And Yom Shanim. Huh?
Because they have different value.
They have different dinim too. Emot Zaveda.
No,
The Kadon,
the money that belongs to
It-
him. That's a cheating. You don't
like
you,
like
you
with
tell
the
a guy,
contract
"Come
for the
on, you're
business,
supposed to pay him, you don't pay him."
the business is theoretically the Kadon.
That's whole kid.
That's what he's asking. He's saying the business is a picard. So, why does the Torah splitting it? It's a little bit of a funny question, but based on the Sikha, you'll understand why they're different. But he has a beautiful pshat. The Gemara says a story. It's a Medrash Rabbah, the story of Ben Talmud, that there was once two people, and so one owed the other guy a lot of money, tremendous amount of money. They went to Bezdin, and say Reuben says to Shimon, "You owe me $1,000,000." Shimon says, "Not true." So okay, make a shvua. He's going to make a shvua. So Reuben says to Shimon, while I'm making the shvua, I have to hold the Torah. So could you do me a favor? Could you hold on to my walking stick? So Shimon holds on to his walking stick, and he takes the Torah in his hand, and he makes a shvua that he doesn't know, that he doesn't have
Did he
nickel,
pay or what he pay?
that he doesn't have
He
a
never
nickel.
took it to begin with.
He doesn't have a nickel of Shimon's money in his hand. Shimon got so angry because it was not true that he took the stick and he gave bang, and the stick broke, and out came
Money.
gold.
So it's good to have a temper.
Out came, yeah, out came all the gold.
No, but he
Oh.
paid. Obviously, the money.
Well, because what happened was he made a shvua. He said, "Not a nickel of your money is in my hand." It was true. At the time of the shvua,
Yeah, he was holding the stick.
he gave him.
He didn't know what he was holding. What he was holding the stick.
So Reuven didn't lie. Reuven said, "I'm making a shvua. Not a nickel of your money is in my hand.
Sneaky guy.
Not a nickel." It's true. At that time, when he made the shvua, it wasn't a
What
nickel.
the story?
That's what the Gemara says. It's a Medrash Rabbah. Not Gemara. That so it was true.
Then more. The more brings the story.
It's a story also. He brings it from Medrash Rabbah.
I don't.
So he says, Chazal tell such a story. That's Pshat Sumas Yad. I gave it in his hand.
Yeah.
I cheated by giving it into his hand. Very interesting.
But he, I mean,
Sleight of hand.
Gemara uses.
Sleight of hand. A new meaning. A new meaning. Yeah, putting it into his
But the
hand.
guy wasn't Amaritz. He understood that the Torah has a way of using words that have stronger meaning than the light.
Right. Obviously. Because, and especially Bezdin
He
always
was
would,
tricking himself more than anybody.
He was tricking himself. That's the trick. Exactly. He was tricking himself. But in his mind, he made us true sure. I don't have a nickel of your money in my hand. Yeah, it was in his hand. His plan was after the shul, he's going to say, thank you for holding my stick. Take your stick and go back home.
Who took the condoms?
Yeah.
The person that belonged to him.
Well, why?
Because everyone could see that it was, it was clear.
Maybe this was something else. Maybe he was saying.
No. It became clear. It became clear to Bezin. But
sounds like a Shlomo Melech, cut the baby in half kind of stuff.
Exactly. But like Shmulik mentions,
because of this, when you say you pay back this,
you have to say that it's doing al das bezin. You have to do it al das bezin. They say to the person, listen, we want to make it clear to you that whatever shenanigans you have in your mind, you could, person sometimes has in his mind like he meant this and that. It's not your das, it's our das. Okay. Let's talk about the Sikha now. The Rebbe says like this. The Rebbe asked Taka, before Shem asked, Rashi says that there was no Eidim and there was no Shtar, and no one knows anything. But because usually by business there's Eidim and a Shtar. But the Pasuk was also talking about to Sumas Yad. So you'd have to say that half of the pasuk is mol and not mol. It's very shver, very, very shver. And then the Rebbe has a lot of questions. If Rashi is bothered by the lashon of mol or mal b'Hashem, why is he quote the words nefesh kisechta? And another question: why is he mentioned the name that the Rebbe Akiva usually doesn't mention? Who's the Baal HaMaimer? And what? How's the Eibishter called a shlishi? Like the Eibishter?
Right.
Well, he's not a whatever. He's not a party. We're partners. The Eibishter is the Eibishter. His shlishi sounds as if he's a party in this business. What's the pshat that he's a party in this business? The Rebbe says, what's bothering Rashi, and this is again a classic, like the way the Rebbe learned. If you look in the whole parsha, every time it talks about someone's sins and the korban, either it says nefesh kesechta or it says nefesh kisimol mal b'Hashem. One or the other. He did a bad thing. So there's two expressions. Either you say he was moil in the Eibishter, or he was choite against the Eibishter. Shaila is why over here it says two lashonis, a double lashon. The only place in the entire Vayikra. Nefesh kisechta u'mola mal b'Hashem. What do you need a double lashon? Just say nefesh kisechta or say nefesh kitul mal b'Hashem. Why have a double lashon? That's why Rashi says nefesh kisechta. Omer b'Akiva matam loy merumal mal b'Hashem. By the way, the Rebbe had a klal that Rashi never says it's a question. If Rashi is saying a question, you know that's not really the question. That the question is
it's an answer for something.
Yeah, over here we said already nefesh kisechta. Matamud loimer anaya zakum mola mal b'Hashem. You already said nefesh kisechta.
The double lashon mal ma'al is not the question. The question is why the two psukim.
Yeah, why does it say nefesh kisechta and plus mola mal b'Hashem? So. Because in Drush you could ask like why is that a double lashon? But linguistically it's used that way. It's fine. But if you look the whole Vayikra, it says nefesh kisechta, it says nefesh kisimol mal b'Hashem. But here's a double language. Both it says nefesh kisechta u'mola. So Rashi's asking why are you adding matamud loymar? What's the extra words of mola mal b'Hashem?
If he's partnering as a third partner, so then maybe it's a double avera. You're cheating Hashem and you're cheating Hashem through him being a partner to the second guy. Something like that, maybe?
That's not what the Rebbe's answer is. Not that the Rebbe is saying. Hey, only in our case.
Close.
No, pretty close. He's saying that Rashi says the fisher kol amal v'aloy b'vanois v'anois and einois elabei the mishtar. The fikr shemachachish beid the mishtar. It's not me'ila b'Hashem because we had a deal and we have Edom. And Vishtar, and the guy is
it's like Ben Adam L'Chaver, not
it's like not Ben Adam L'Mok. So therefore it's nefesh kisechta, it's a sin. Avol amafkid eitzel chavede ein neroitze sheteda b'neshama l'shlisha shebenei. Back to Picard. He's saying that the Rebbe looked at a lot of kisvei yad, and the Rashi changes from the lashon of the Braisa, and he says avol amafkid ve'ein neroitze. There's two types of pikadon. The truth is there is two types of pikadon. Sometimes a person gives a pikadon and he does have a contract and he does have a receipt and he does have edim, sometimes not. So Rashi is saying, what Rashi is saying is like this. In these psukim, there's a list of things. Some of them is a chait, and some of them is mal bashem. Bikodon is like 50-50. It depends. Sometimes people give over a bikodon and they make a receipt and they write it down and they have edim.
And sometimes the original
And sometimes
item, you give it back. You
and they just trust in Hashem. So it depends. There was no start, but they trust
the
in Hashem
original
because
item they're taking that.
they say, I know you're a religious Jew, you're a very good man.
But why do you have to go that far? The item that the B'kadon is being held against, that could be returned for the B'kadon.
No. No one owes me anything. I give him a bag of diamonds. I'm going now to Australia and back, and I don't want to leave it in my house. So I give Shumi a bag of diamonds. So I could give to Shumi a bag of diamonds in one of two ways. Either I bring two witnesses into the story, or I don't. So if I brought two witnesses in the story, and then Shumi doesn't return it to me,
I misunderstood. I thought it's like you're lending me 20 grand, so I'm going to leave you my car keys.
No. That's the mashkin. That's a mashkin. That's a mashkin.
It's a shomachina. Pikadon is shomachina. When you give pikadon to someone,
sometimes it depends if you paid him or you didn't pay him. Sometimes you pay him, sometimes you don't pay him. But the thing is, by a pikadon, it could be with Eidim, it could be without Eidim. So Rashi is saying that it could be one way or the other way. If there was Eidim here, and the guy now lies and doesn't want to return the bag of diamonds, so you have Eidim. So he's not a mal b'Hashem. It wasn't like a sacred trust with Hashem, but it's like eight. Nefesh gesechta. It's like eight. But if there was no Eidim, so there was like a sacred trust. Why did I give that guy the bag of diamonds? Because I trust him. Why? Because I see him come to shul and he davens and so I trust him. That's why he says neshama. You know what neshama is? Neshama shenasata b'tohirihi b'yot chav kedruchi. Say the Eibush that we trust him because we give him every night our neshama as a pikodin, and in the morning he gives it back to pikodin. It's like a sacred thing between us and the Eibush. We go to sleep and we trust that Hashem is going to give us back our neshama in the morning. So the Eibush does it as every morning.
So it's kind of like a ganef and a gazlan. If somebody's willing to steal not in front of people, that means they have no fear of God. Be better if they would steal in front of people too.
It's similar to that. Like in Pikadon, there's both. Depends. If there was Eidim there was no Mi'ila Hashem.
So you could have a double up there.
You could have
basically.
Yeah, it could be. It's not a double. Right. It depends. Did he give him the bag of diamonds with Eidim, without Eidim? If he gave,
it's like a double whammy.
It's not. There's two cases. Either it could be that he gave it to him, bag of diamonds,
the
and
he
gave it.
Avera falls off.
No, it's one or the other. Either you had witnesses or not. You can't have or not have witnesses.
If he had witnesses, the sin was that he just stole.
But he stole. That's
and if
you
don't have witnesses, he still stole.
He stole, but now there's something worse. That
it's both.
It's both. But that's why the Torah says a double losh. The Torah says nefesh.
So why would you say it's one or the other? It's one or two.
Yeah, it's one or two. Right. One or two. If he gave it to him with Eidim, there was no sacred trust. Bad guy, a Ganev. If he gave it to him and there was no Eidim, so besides being a Ganev, he broke a sacred trust that is with Hashem. So he broke that special trust that is with the Eibishter. That's why Rashi is bothered. That Rashi is bothered why this pasuk is a double ocean, nefesh kisechta and the mal. So Rashi says
this for money loans also, or only items.
Because it could be money. It depends. Just a technical difference between halva and a pikadon is that I'll
put away.
Yeah, the defining difference between what's a pikadon and what's a milva is if I give you $1,000 and I say, Ari, please hold the wallet, don't touch the nickel and dime, just hold the wallet for me.
Right.
That's called a pikadon.
Right.
It's the same thing if I give you $1,000 and I say, Ari, in a year, please give it back to me.
Right.
So you have the right to use the money. Well, you have to hold the wallet. Money is money.
As long as I give
it's not like a Rebbe dollar that you have to give me back the dollar. I gave you a couple of $100 bills. Use it. and then a year later
The
you
same amount.
give it back. That's the difference between a pikadon and a milva. Pikadon is you have to hold on and return to the person the actual item. Milva is you don't have to. You could. It's up to you.
Are you allowed to open the picador? I gave you picador. You were curious what inside. You're allowed to open it.
Should to begin with.
Well,
No, huh?
To make sure that
you're not allowed to.
especially if you're going on an airline, you need to
But I mean, depends. I mean, that's what the Gemara talks about. Sometimes a person you're moiv, because it could be it's going to rot and it's going to get moldy. So it's a mitzvah on the to open it up. It's a talus to shake it up or whatever it should.
You do?
Yeah, hamatash. Who doesn't want hamatash now? You know how much I'll shout
yet?
you?
Shumi says yes. I only had 5 this weekend.
Oh.
That's not even a number you can.
By the time you get to Purim, everyone's hamatashed out.
I can have a weapon.
After Purim, no one wants to look at the hamatash. They're only tasty this week. Amen.
Like Hanukkah donuts.
Like the Hanukkah donuts, yeah, exactly. After Hanukkah. That's what they get cake. Anyway, so let's wrap it up. So that's a pshat. Now, and what's a pshat? So how is the Abish the third person in between?
Not third person.
The third party, sorry. The third party. How's the Abish the third party?
Years, but I finally got the rabbi.
Yeah.
Hashem is not.
You see, it's good to go. Good to go. So how's the Abish the third party? So Rashi really, that's what Rashi says. Amar Rebbe Akiva. The Gemara says that Rebbe Akiva explained. Every day we say a different shir shenyan. Today is Sunday. What's today? The Berishna Yoimrim Lashem Oretz Amloi Amar Rebbe Akiva. Why? Lashem Shekona Vayikra. That Rashi says he acquired the world. Why did Abisha create the world? Ilu. He made the world because he wants to have the pleasure of giving. He likes to give. So he's giving a bowl of chips. He's giving a Coca-Cola. He's giving a watch. He's giving. Why did Abish
That's the son.
Yeah, exactly.
The son would make a great Hashem.
Exactly. That's what it says. Mahurachem avatarachem. So the Eibishter. Oh, does it? Mahurachem. The Eibishter is Hakona Vayikra. So now the Eibishter decided that he was koine this chayfetz because he wants to give it to Reuven. But Shimon is jealous of Reuven, and Shimon wants it. So he's really challenging the Eibishter's balabatishkeit. Why did the Eibishter create the world? Lashem ba'oretzam lo yotevel v'lo yoshei bo. Zok Rebbe Akiva. Kona v'hikna, that the pshat is that he made the world. He was koine shemayim ba'oretz in order to be makna to Reuven a bottle of Coke, and to Shimon a bag of chips, and to Levi a bag of candy. And then Shimon says, no. The Eibishter gave me him, and then no. I want to have what he has. But so you're really challenging. You're challenging the bias of the Eibishter. The Eibishter was Lashem Oretzam Loya. Why? Table v'yosheba. Because the Eibishter wanted to give out to Reuven this and Shimon. This is more. This is like This is like he's challenging the Eibishter's thing, and that's why Rashi brings it about Akiva, Amar Rebbe Akiva. Because this explains why the Eibishter is a shlishi. It's a sacred trust. Where's the Eibishter shlishi? If you bring two Eidim here, as they're shlishi, they're not a shlishi. Shlishi means there's a third party has an interest in this transaction. The Eibishter is the Eibishter. He knows Hashem Oretz. The Eibishter is the Hakol Gola V'Yadua.
It's all his.
It's all his. What's the shot that you're making trouble? Kililu, there's 3 partners in this deal. And now you're lying not only to Reuven, but the other.
Oh.
So that's why he says Rebbe Akiva, because Rebbe Akiva said that Lashem Oretz and Loi means that the Eibishter created the world, so he can give Reuven this, Shimon this, and Levi this. Shimon now wants to turn it on its head. He wants to steal what's from Reuven.
Mess up Hashem's balance.
Yeah, so he's now, that's why the Eibishter is a shlishi. And he's ruining the Eibishter's interest in the Bria. The Eibishter gave this to Reuven, this to Shimon. Yeah, you want to say something?
It's not important.
So now that's a shot, and so that's why Rashi, and that's why Rashi also Why is it? It's interesting. The pasuk says nefesh kisechta. Why does Rashi say neshama? Also, the Rashi is giving us a little remes, as I mentioned before, that Chazal say that the Eibishter, you could trust him. The Eibishter is we give him a pikadon. We give the Eibishter a pikadon every night when we're tired and we go to sleep, and we gave it neshama, and the Eibishter gives us back to us every morning. And that's the pshat. We say Rabba Munasecha, that we have to learn from the Eibishter to have a muna. Muna means to be a trustworthy person. If we do business with someone or whatever transactions, we're honest, just like the Eibishter is be'emuna with us. By night I said, I give you a pikadon. In the morning, you give it back to me, be'emuna. A person that's learned from the Eibishter to have be'emuna. That's what Rashi uses here, the lotion, that ve'ein roitza sheyeda b'neshama. So that's the big chisonim. That's the big chisonim. The truth is, if you think about it, it's an unbelievable thing. The Mila usually stored up a very big Aveda. What a Mila is moil behektish. Taking away from hektish. So you steal, it's like, wow, how can a person do that? Something that's hektish belongs to the Rebbeinu Shalom, and you're taking it away from him. But really, what we're seeing here is that the Torah wants to emphasize that there is sometimes when a person is lying to his friend and he's doing bad business with his friend, and so that's called also meila. That's called also meila. Based on Rabbi Akiva, really understand it's a little bit idea of meila, because he's challenging the Eibishter's balabatash Navel. The Eibishter decided this should belong to Ruven and this should belong to Shimon. Now I'm gonna outsmart him, and we'll do business, and I'm gonna run away with his money. Huh? You see?
So
outsmart the Eibishter. So really, it's a meila b'Hashem. It's not only a meila against the other human being. It's a meila b'Hashem. Because the Eibishter said that the Reuven should have this money, not Shimon. Shimon's running away with the money. So it's a meila b'Hashem. It's an unbelievable thing.
So what does the person do?
It's to teach him the Rashi.
Huh?
He has to teach him the Rashi. He has to learn the Rashi. If he learns the Rashi, he'll know he's playing with fire. Because we say biyotcha av kedrochi, and that Hashem says, just like you want, I should be an upstanding businessman, and at night you give me the neshama, in the morning I give it back to you fresh, right? So you also have to do with other human beings business in that way. So if someone is not that way, you have to learn with them the Rashi. To tell them about the Rashi.
I don't think that's going to work.
No?
I think that from what I've seen, Me'ila is something that more than often happens by mistake. A person doesn't go out of his way to steal from the base of Mikdash or whatever, no? Isn't it more something because there's so many halachas and there's confusion, or they did it wrong, or
Halachas and Meila are complex, it's true. But it doesn't mean that people willingly want to do. It's like Ben Soda Ramota. It doesn't have to be something that's happening every day, all the time.
just
Like
big
it's-
time. I never thought that people go out of the way and they're like, I'm going to go steal. Why would somebody
But
want to test you
unfortunately,
at such a level?
you're right.
They could steal from a simple
I'm not
amount.
taking from one person.
You're right.
I'm taking from
You're right.
So-
It's exactly the point.
that a single person's not going to miss it. The Abishter's not going to miss it.
That's actually a very interesting point. Like the way people will they'll justify cheating an insurance company because it doesn't really exist quicker than they'll steal it.
One person's not being affected. It's a group, or it's
Maybe
it's
people
David
know it.
there.
You know the joke that was going around a couple of years ago, that there was a younger man in the koilel, and they had a fridge, a shared fridge.
Yeah.
For the holidays now.
Yeah,
He changed his name.
no,
No,
he had a little bottle of milk, and he said, "Please don't take without permission." And people were always taking his milk, and he couldn't. Please don't take it. Come on.
Baruch Stam.
So he emptied the bottle. He bought a chalav stam,
And then nobody would tell.
and no one's taking it.
I forgot the joke. There was a joke. Thank God that the esrog is shaken in shul and that something else is done in their home. Because if it was the other way around, this wouldn't be bought nicely and that wouldn't be bought nicely. Similar joke. They're worried about the Chol of Stam though.
It's a good one.
They don't.
It was Rabbi.
If the people, we say by the Pashas Haman, you wasn't before. So it says, look, some people say you should not say Behatu Boy Biser. Hashem is going to give you Boy Biser. They omit Behatu Boy Biser.
That means the person is saying himself.
Why should we not
You
say?
think Hashem is going to. Why should you say Hashem?
Hashem only wants you good.
You capability to make Behatu Boy Biser. Why wouldn't you Boy Biser? Hashem.
Derech Merela, Hashem's going to do it the right.
Some people don't say Teifel Hashem.
So what's the answer?
Either to say, not say Behet by this at all. It's understood that if you're going to earn money honestly,
It's a question. It's not an
But whoever was instituted this, they might have had a good reason.
Personality.
Sometimes you have Yetzer
It
Hara.
was very blunt.
But it's
So
not saying that
he once
yourself
gave it to a bacher because the bacher was sitting there
should
with his
give
leg
it to you, but
like this, and he was learning about a bar
you
b'shus
have
harabim.
no Yetzer Hara.
He said, "You're literally creating a bar b'shus harabim." You know, the guys that are walking up and down the aisle, and he's sitting there like, "You're not getting the point of this Gemara if it's not affecting the midah related to it."
Okay, let's finish off with the story.
I didn't explain myself. It's not the way he reckoned it that Hashem should give it to you, but have to buy this and that. It's really up to you. Here it's saying it's up to Israel to give you boy biser. It's your Yetzirah. You should know better. Not that Hashem should not give you biser. That's why they omit it.
Listen, it's not a very that Yehirotzim was not written by Rav Ashi or Ravina. Some Yid that like to publish a Yehirotzim, made a Yehirotzim. Okay, take it out. Who wrote that Yehirotzim?
Some Yid.
You're probably not a goy. So we had I wasn't here the Shabbos.
I miss you.
Yeah.
So we have it.
No. So
Yeah.
one of with Chaver.
Wait, it's a joke or a story? I forgot what the rabbi said.
Story.
Okay, true. I wasn't preparing myself.
Wasn't here the Shabbos.
Why did I say?
Oh, we're gonna get the Shabbos shmuz now. Okay.
Yeah.
The mikvah shmuz, not the Shabbos shmuz.
Okay, it's a little shorter.
So we had a class reunion, a class that was born in 1973, 74.
The Shabbos?
Yeah.
50,
That's you.
30
Yeah.
years from,
Where was it?
30 years from graduating. Oh, yeah.
They announced in 50 years we'll have another reunion. The price will be double, not because of inflation, but because of the charge for the aides and the walkers.
Wait a second. Where did you guys stay? Where did everybody stay? They put you up?
I don't know, someplace in Pennsylvania. I was so not involved.
Oh, it's not
Trust
involved.
me.
It wasn't the crown.
I have no
You
idea.
went to a hotel.
Friend called me after 35 times. He called me this time 36. I have no idea.
How many guys?
Somewhere.
It
How
costed
many-
you money?
Do you think I know these things? I have no idea.
Did you pay?
A lot of the
Somebody?
rabbis.
My wife, I'm sure, paid.
Oh, okay.
I am sure my wife in Mishkan
How many
I'm sure she went on the line and she paid. I
She
am
didn't
sure.
After a shear like this, you
No.
better pay. A lot of the guys were shluchim and rabbis.
Yeah.
So this really messed up community.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you had a good time.
It was very good.
How many guys were there?
No,
It's
give
very
them
good.
more
It's very good.
invigoration.
It's very good.
Rabbi, how many
One-
guys
I
were
have a friend a very good friend, like on my block, that Yitzi Gazinski. So he was in London for a business trip, and he found a place that they're selling old mashke, so he bought from a whiskey that was sitting in a barrel from 1973.
A little older than everybody.
It's a little older than he went away at Shabbos to give everyone a pack. And
They could take him back these extra chaims.
Sechs L'chaim.
Does he have meetings?
Yeah.
Is he like see him and his wife owners of Milano wigs or something?
That's one of many businesses that they have. So he bought that for over $1,000 a bottle.
It was whiskey or vodka?
Whiskey. Why they? And okay,
I don't know.
I could not tell the difference between that and the whiskey that's worth 25 cents. I have no idea.
Me too.
No idea.
Bourbon, Scotch, to me, it's all the same.
So anyway,
I'll take a
so-
liqueur anytime.
so as a Sigaven, one of my friends I haven't seen for many years, talking his Zayda used to Rabbi Shimon Goldman used to have a gemach. I used to put on a shtraimel every. You remember?
I saw him.
Yeah,
That's very nice.
he used to have a butcher shop right here.
Oh,
He had
Goldman.
He was the only guy to put on a Schreimel on
Yeah.
there.
No,
Yeah.
that was Goldbound. What was
He had on Coney Island. He used to have a butcher shop
Did
right
you
there.
get his recommended as
I don't think so. I think that Rebbe was manning this thing. It was a special thing, but that Rebbe had this thing.
And again, Schreimel from something. Unless they took.
No.
He said,
Shimon Goldman had the shtraimel. I don't know. Anyway, it's every year he used to tell a story about everyone to Lava Malka. And I remember it very nice. It was always like a thing. And the Rebbe used to like relax when he used to tell the story. Because you know that Rebbe used to always sit like this, almost falling off the chair. And when he used to talk, the Rebbe used to like sit back.
Wait, by for Dragons?
No, when Shimon Goldman used to tell the story.
Where was it?
Once a year,
Where was it?
and middle of the Fabrengen. You were not there that time. Once a year, Shabbos, Pashas,
The
Mishpat.
Rebbe would sit back, yeah.
The Rebbe would sit back. Shimon Goldman used to come with his big shtraimel, and he used to tell a story. And afterwards, he used to
What does that
invite.
mean? He enjoyed it. He was a
I
good
don't-
storyteller.
I'm just telling you. No, Parshas Mishpatim, because it says in Kesav Talavas Ami. So once he told a story like this, that Remotala Chernobyl had a chassid, and the chassid he used to travel at a Motala. He was about to come to this town. He sent the message to this chassid. He's going to be a Shabbos. If the chassid wants to join the Rebbe for Shabbos, he must give him 2,000 ruble. The chassid was an oni ve'evi. He couldn't afford 2 ruble. It was such pain. He was thinking, but it wasn't shaykh. It wasn't like he'll take a loan. And have 2 ruble, 2,000 ruble. It was such tsar. The whole Shabbos, everyone's going to see the Matala Chernobyl. And he, who was so close, was told not to come unless he brings 2,000 ruble. Bothered him, but there's nothing he can do. After Shabbos and Matala left, and there was a group, an army of soldiers that came, and didn't have fancy hotels. Especially to go to the townspeople, let's say you take 3 soldiers, you take 3, you take 6. And that's how they'd have to put up the soldiers. They were traveling, so they were traveling also with a treasure. Geld. They don't have a credit card. It's not like they could write out checks or things. It was to carry a chest with money, coins, yeah. And there was a group of soldiers that was their job, like rotate, and they stayed in this house as chosin. And after everyone left, he sees that they left the box with the money. A few hours later, they're coming, they forgot the money. And they're knocking on the door of the neighbor, and they're knocking in this house. Oh, maybe it's the other house. And I'm Yiru. They looked in every house, not in his house. He's not running after them to give them the money.
And it was exactly 2,000 ruble.
No, it's much, much more. Much more. She couldn't believe it. So
Shabbos didn't happen yet?
No, this is much after Shabbos. He
missed it.
He missed the whole Shabbos.
He missed the whole Shabbos.
So the Motala left, and Tzaddik, we say Motala Chas Shalom. Mordechai of Chernobyl, and he runs and he's traveling, and he finds where the Rebbe is. He's in a different town, and he brings the 2,000 ruble to the Rebbe. The Rebbe says, "You're supposed to be rich. The problem with you is you never asked. Rebbe Shalom was waiting. You should ask. I couldn't figure out how am I going to get you to ask be'emes. There's a bet mit an emes. The Eibusher should give you money. But you're not asking. A Yid has to ask. And you don't ask. So what should I do? So the only way I could think,
Why can't you just tell him to ask?
because then he's asking what the Rebbe told me. Whatever? I don't know. You said the
It wasn't
pshat.
going to come from his heart. I need 5 rubles. What's going to ask for a lot of money here? He begged for.
So now
I've done it no fruchnis and
you have to hear what the Rebbe said. The Rebbe said, it's a funny thing. The Rebbe usually never said anything. It's one other story. I remember the Rebbe said. The Rebbe made a comment. The Rebbe said the beginning of the story, the end of the story. One Nakud in the story he doesn't understand. Something is missing. Knowing the tzidkis of the tzaddik, Reb Mordechai of Chernobyl, it's hard to imagine that he would deny one of the chassidim to be present by his davening for 3 full tefillas and Shabbos. That's the Yedua, the Motla Chernobyl, that ever brings it in the Yom Yom. It was a Baal Bosser. He was fat, Gashmis. And he said that because of immense pleasure he had from saying Am Yesh Merabah, that's how he became such a Baal Bosser. From the unbelievable tainug that he had from saying Am Yesh Merabah. So how can it be that a Motla Chernobyl, some of us are big, but it's not from Am Yesh Merabah, it's from very minimum zonas. So how could it be, said the Rebbe, that such a tzaddik like a Motala would Mela ein Kaddish, ein Davening, but the whole Shabbos, Epis. But the Rebbe said, but otherwise the story.
Did he even answer?
No, he didn't. He just asked the question. The Rebbe said. The
Rebbe said, "Darshan out our own logic."
Yeah, just a ha'ora that Rebbe made a ha'ora on this. It's interesting what kind of thing bothered the Rebbe from the story. You could ask 150 questions on the story. Many
are supposed to ask for Shiris, Meisen. You're supposed to for our instruction. No, the Eibush schicked.
A Meise. Tell the Meise wie das is.
Yes, we should.
The Eibush shall help him.
Why you tell the story? You heard this over Shabbos?
Yeah. I just heard it from one of my friends. His friends and Goldman.
We see by Nachman and others.
And Goldman.
That
his grandfather
Ashiris can sein gut für einer, Ashiris can sein gut für einer, and Schatten für einen zweiten.
Yeah.
So maybe he also knew that would be good for him.
I'll tell you.
That's good.
It was a Vayikra. This is a true story. It's a story. It's written down. Similar story. But forget the Meisa. Vayikra was a Rebbe Gabba. The Rebbe never actions of Nachman, and he said, Rebbe, they went traveling. They came to one of the Chassidim doors. It was only the Evan. He had nothing in the cupboards. The children went barefoot. The Anias was Neurois. Rebbe Vinchon. But Rebbe knew that Shiris is not going to be good for him. So the Rebbe must came with Eingeheimschen. So the Rebbe said, Rebbe Chaykel, you Vinchon. It was a big follower. He took water. He said, Shefa from Mizrach, Shefa from Mayav, Shefa from Durham, Shefa from Safin. Same thing happened. A bunch of soldiers came by. They came by this lodge. They left the chest. And then he started Misra and Gavar and Agroisa Nogid. And slowly he distanced himself from Rav Nachman. One time there was a mark, and Rav Nachman was in the hotel and looked out the window and he called his class. He saw him. And he called him in. Oh, Rebbe, I apologize. I hadn't been by you for so long. He said, businessman, and he says to him, was eenmaal hein aufgehoben bei euch ins Eibishter? So we see that Ashiris, the Rebbe knew, besser als seine Avi Yevon, aber so schreien zum Eibishter jeden Tag. True story.
You went to so many of the Rebbe's Fabrengen that you missed one.
I missed a lot of Fabrengen.
No, you came to one? I'm telling you, Mishpot. That was the thing for many years.
I remember the Shabbos Fabrengens with the Chumash Sichos, and everybody had the green Eshkel Chemosh over there with the green gold paper, and then the Mezich.
The thing that
you could barely hear him, except for those in Morrison, because there's no mic.
No, we can't have in Gans.
Why the story with Shmulik's father-in-law?
It's hard to hear him.
Shmulik's father-in-law, the Rebbe was from Blanket, and he said, "Who want to be a rich?"
Yeah,
same.
Only 4 people. Only 4 people stood up,
Not.
become very rich.
Shkar for joining us.
You see, it's not so partial. It's not black and white.
Need timing.
Ashtiris is not for everybody, and it's not.
Everyone here, Klal Yisrael, Hamashiach, Begashmis,
Most of us.